2016 has been a year of amazing games for the Vita, but also a year of disappointments. Cancellations like Hyperlight Drifter and Moon Hunters have been extremely frustrating for fans, and are also a cause for concern in terms of whether other games will still be coming to the Vita. We hear a lot of anecdotes about how the Vita is a good place for indie devs, but I thought, is there a way to actually confirm that? We don't often get hard sales data from devs, which is a shame, as this would really prove to other hesitant developers that the Vita is worth the time and effort to develop for. But we do have some other points of data that we can look at. Looking at trophy sites like PSN Profiles does not tell us definitive sales numbers, but it provides some interesting comparisons between the PS4 and PS Vita. There are around 4 times more PS4s that have been sold compared to the Vitas. So for games on both platforms, you'd expect there to be 4 times as many people having played on PS4. But that isn't the case for many games. I went through the games with PS4 and PS Vita versions to look for the difference. Games with shared trophy lists could not be compared, and also games that have been on PS Plus were removed because the number of players was skewed towards the version on Plus. Also, where a game was released first on one platform, the users are much higher than the other systems. Looking at some recent indie release games, like SteamWorld Heist and Alone With You, have 70% of the Vita players compared to PS4. Even retail releases like Rayman Legends, Sword Art Online and Walking Dead Season 1 have done well on Vita compared to PS4, despite having a much smaller install base. I did a survey on Twitter asking how many Vita games people own, both digital and retail. Out of 787 voters, nearly 80% of them said they owned more than 10 games, with a third owning more than 40 games. Now the caveat to the result is most of the people I interact with on Twitter are Vita fans, and 787 votes is a drop in the ocean compared to the 12 million or so Vitas sold. Having said that, it is an indication of the loyalty and willingness to buy games that Vita owners have. The Nintendo DS is one of the most successful gaming devices ever made, and in 2014 Nintendo revealed it had an attach rate of 6.14 games sold per console. The gaming world has changed massively since the DS was released, with games sold digitally and cheaper than box games sold on the DS. But the survey is another indication that Vita owners buy games, and Vita owners have far more games than the average DS owner. VG Charts is another indication of sales of Vita games. Again, it's not definitive evidence and the site is known for not being completely accurate, but it does give us another comparison between the Vita and the PS4 sales. 2 recent games in particular, Odin Sphere and Grand Kingdom, show the Vita version selling close to or more than the PS4 versions. Personally, with the number of games being released every week, I find my time spent playing PS4 is dedicated to the big AAA or online releases like Overwatch and Uncharted. Even indie games on my PS4 get relegated to the backlog or deleted to make room to install the next big AAA game. Games released on both systems are just more convenient to play on PS Vita, assuming there isn't any online component and the performance is still comparable. Another thing that indie devs should consider is the completion rate of their games. Spending years of your life to make a game that people play for an hour and then delete must be pretty disheartening. With all the big releases on PS4 and limited time available to sit in front of a TV gaming at home, the trophy attainment rate is lower on PS4 compared to Vita. I found multiple examples of this on PSN Profiles like Zeo Drifter, Unfinished Swan, SteamWorld Heist, Runner 2, Pure Chess, Limbo, Flame Over and many more. This isn't the case for all games, but in general I found more cases of the Vita having a higher trophy completion rate than PS4, especially for indie games. I guess the general message here is Vita owners buy games and we play games. There is a smaller install base compared to the PS4 or Xbox One, but good indie games get bought on and played on the Vita. With the Twitter app too, it's common for people to share screenshots and spread the message about games worth buying. Even a AAA publisher like Square Enix has started to again release Vita games. So, to all developers out there, come on over. Some of us can get a little heated when games are announced and cancelled, but it's only because we love the Vita so much. If you give us a good game, Vita owners will support your game, talk about it and tweet pictures. Vita means life and it's definitely not dead yet. Thanks for watching.